increased risk for potentially serious illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia. One way to help protect yourself is to get immunized against vaccine-preventable diseases like pneumococcal pneumonia. Dr. Jorge Gomez shares more on behalf of the American Lung Association.
Pneumococcal pneumonia is a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. Adults 65 or older are over 10 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults 18 to 49. You may also be at increased risk if you have certain chronic health conditions such as asthma, diabetes, or heart disease. If you're 65 or older, vaccination can help prevent pneumococcal pneumonia.
This flu season, visit lung.org/pneumococcal and talk to your doctor or pharmacist about pneumococcal vaccination.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club-style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hey there, I have a question for you. Is your roof asphalt and does it look like it needs replacement? Did you get quotes and were you in sticker shock? Would you like to save not hundreds, but thousands of dollars? Did you call RoofMax? Well, call RoofMax with their patent-pending technology, which can add years to your roof without needing to replace it. And it's easy. You just pick up the phone for a free quote. Plus, they use state-of-the-art satellite technology to measure your roof. So, if your roof is over 7 years old, then you should call RoofMax today at 352-639-2777. That's 352-639-2777.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. A few of our tractor services include bush hogging, disking, and rototilling. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Before we went to break, Galen Unaw and I were discussing, Galen Unaw from Life South, we were discussing the finer points of the Rittenhouse case. And I just, Galen, to reiterate, I just don't see any other way that this ends good for everybody involved unless it's a mistrial with prejudice.
Yeah, isn't that the problem? There's no outcome in which all you can do in this case is justice, right? The rest is just nothing but noise, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of these trials have become, is everything but justice. you want justice for everybody involved. So that's where we're at.
And this prosecution team should. I would almost, if I was a lawyer in that area, or even the judge myself, I may put these prosecutors. I may make a formal complaint with the Wisconsin Bar Association.
Well, they have, right? I mean, they're doing everything they can. The judge is like, I can't rule on this. I haven't even looked at the motion, and they haven't put forth, a defense for it yet.
I would literally, after this trial,
lawyers deserve their due process.
After this trial, my first thing I would do if I was one of the defense attorneys in this trial is declare a formal complaint with the Bar Association about these prosecutors.
Well, you can't yet.
You'd have to do it after the trial.
Correct. That's correct.
As soon as the trial was over, win, lose, or draw, I'm reporting them to the Bar Association.
That's correct. You can't do that until they have a chance to really look at the evidence and review all of the info. So,
I just still don't know why the judge didn't sequester this group.
Happen.
I don't know why the judge didn't sequester this group, and I know sequester is a big step, but I think we'd have had a verdict by now if they had been sequestered.
Did you hear what he said the other day? He goes, "I think this will be the last time I ever have cameras in my courtroom."
Yeah, of course. I mean,
and again, I think that's the there's a fine line between the public's right to know and a person's right for justice.
Thanks, Judge Ito.
Can't believe there was no way the O.J. Simpson was going to be on trial or on TV.
But that's what brought in all. Look, that's what started. That's what changed CNN, MSNBC, all these groups. That's what changed them from news organizations to salacious tabloid organizations. Was that trial, the O.J. Simpson trial? That gave us the Nancy Graces of the world, and we're a much worse society because of the O.J. Simpson trial.
There's no doubt about that. I can't. You can't deny that.
No,
the justice system changed.
It did. It became lawyers and judges decided they could be TV stars too.
That's correct.
We moved away from Judge Wapner, which was laughable, into real judges thinking they could be Judge Wapner.
And we could name 9 or 10 cases that just changed. Do you remember the 2 kids that killed their parents?
Oh yeah, the something brothers.
Yeah, Casey Anthony. I mean, there's
the guy that killed his wife, Scott.
Yeah, correct.
That killed his pregnant wife, Lacey, and left her in the bay of San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, we could go on for a while naming them all, right? But every year we have this case and I'll be honest with you, I'm just as guilty. I've watched a lot of this Kyle Rittenhouse case.
I've watched a bunch of it.
I find it really I find it very interesting. And shame on me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it boggles my mind where the legal system. We always thought the legal system was a bunch of crooks, and now when you see something like this, it helps that stereotype. It just definitely does. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on with Tom and Galen.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Hey, Hugh.
Say, would it have been possible to hold that court proceedings outside of Kenosha in a different state with different juries?
Couldn't have done it in a different state, but you could have did it in a different jurisdiction. In Wisconsin, I vote for Sparta, where my dad grew up, because they'd have found him not guilty in about a minute and a half in Sparta.
It's a shame that it didn't turn out that way, because I think the outcome's not going to be very good.
No, I don't think there's a good outcome for anybody, Hugh. Hey, thanks for the call, Hugh.
You bet. Thanks. Take care, buddies.
Galen, Lyle, and Eric Menendez.
Yes, that's it.
That's the two brothers that killed their father and mother with shotguns, and then said it was because their father had physically abused them so much that once they got into their 20s, they had to kill him. Or once they got in their 20s, they weren't getting their inheritance fast enough, so they had to kill him. One of those were the reason.
Correct.
But again, we know this because we watched it on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
when Ted Turner created
with
CNN, he thought there was going to be a 24-hour news program, and he realized quickly, just like ESPN realized quickly, it's hard to put 24 hours of solid news on because there's not 24 hours of solid breaking news. So you end up with court cases in California, and you end up with court cases in Texas or court cases out of Orlando filling your airwaves because you got to fill time. The same way that ESPN made logging competitions and Australian rules football famous for a while.
Well, I still think some of those are fun. Some of them are not.
You would watch right now. You would watch Australian rules football if it came on TV right now.
You know what sport needs to come to America and be shown on America? Cricket.
It's a game that I know is the basis, is the basis for baseball, but I have no understanding. I know there's like a wicket that looks like they're playing croquet, and then they hit the ball and they run back and forth in between and the ball can bounce and the paddle's flat and you can hit it behind you and it's still a fair ball.
It's not flat. It's what is it? Oblique, or there's a ridge down the middle.
Well, but still, you can hit the ball behind you and it's fair. You can hit the ball behind you and it's in play.
The 360-degree field.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me.
No, but let's get it in. Let's get involved in it. I'd be all in right now. Like if they said the American Cricket League, I'm like, let's go.
Well, you've said
I am on the bandwagon.
You've said numerous times that if it's a sport that is interesting, you don't need to know the rules. That makes it even more fun is when you don't know all the rules and you're trying to watch it. You've said that on this program before, that you're all in on something like that.
But yeah, because and part of when we watch baseball and when we watch football, I would never argue with a ref if I didn't understand the rules. Maybe.
No, you'd still argue. You'd still argue.
But again, it would help, and maybe I would actually listen to the broadcast because they wouldn't sound like complete idiots.
I'm sorry. I do something you don't do, and I look at Facebook to see if things are changing while we talk and everything. And one of my very good friends, he's the son of my best friend of all times, Dino Burt, who passed away tragically at 48 years old from burst aorta. But his son, Antonio, puts out, the ending of the Falcons game is so, and he wrote, and he started to write embarrassing, and then he canceled it and goes, who am I fooling? The whole damn game was embarrassing.
True, man. It's true. I'm amazed. But
that's how I feel about this Rittenhouse trial. That's how I feel about this Rittenhouse trial. The whole damn thing's embarrassing.
Correct. But let them. I'm glad they're deliberating. I know all of this will be back in a couple of hours. They can't because there's 45 pages of jury instructions, and they have to go through each one of them.
But if they were not worried about their safety, I think they would have went in and goes, okay, the judge gave us all the things, but he gave us all these counts, okay? Yeah. He gave us all these counts and all. How many people think he's not guilty on everything? Show of hands. Everybody to raise their hands. They said, okay, sign the thing. They'd have been back in 45 minutes.
You can't
if it hadn't been for safety.
You can't do it that way.
I would have done it. If I'm the jury foreman, step by step through the process. Kid's not guilty. Who agrees with me? Good. Sign the thing. Let's get out of here.
It doesn't work that way, but I understand. Tom Schmitz would run his courtroom.
Thank you. I don't know who you're talking to. That's exactly what would happen. You can't. That's exactly what I would do.
All right. You got it.
I'm just saying. Hey, so this weekend is.
Did you? By the way, did you didn't even comment on the picture I sent to you?
What picture did you send to me?
I'm in the rest area, taking a rest as we'll call it, and on the rest area, right.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I did.
Border,
yeah.
Is welcome Canadians.
Welcome. No, it doesn't say welcome Canadians.
What is it? Welcome back.
It says welcome back Canadians. And you said
right there, that alone, that may lose DeSantis his votes. I know we had to sign this this vax mandate in Brandon, Florida, which is incredibly funny.
By the way, that was not
Sorry.
lost on
That's
anybody
funny.
in Florida.
Come on, that is funny.
That's hilarious.
Come on, have a sense of humor.
He signed he signed the no mandate for vaccines in Brandon, Florida. Let's go to Brandon, Florida. Let's go to Brandon, Florida.
Can we just agree that that's funny?
No, it is not
Like,
funny.
I mean-
You're wrong, Galen. It is not funny. It is freaking hilarious.
So but until that sign comes down, or maybe we have a public burning.
You can't
or
vote.
we
You
pass
may
the law
not be
that-
able to vote for him.
Put this at the airports, put this at bus stations, train stations, public transport station, bus stops. You're not allowed to put it on a public roadway where personal drivers, because that's encouraging Canadians to drive. And that's what my whole platform is against. I love Canadians. I think they're great human beings. They spend a lot of money in Florida.
They should take Uber or have a private car service.
Why is this so difficult to understand?
I think you've been clear on it.
I don't. So I called his office yesterday. I'm waiting for, and he's going to call me back. Or, he's going to lose out on that vote.
And here's the thing. That was at the state line, right?
He's only he's only up by like 35 points.
So that was the state line.
His approval rating's the highest in the country.
We have to find out who the representative is for that area and call them. See, you got to go through the process, Galen. You just can't reach out to the governor.
Look, I know that area fairly well. I guarantee you, they haven't elected a liberal in a very, very long time.
I promise you. Somebody goes, Tom, do you know any place in our area that what's happening in Kenosha would not happen? I go, sure. Ludowici, Georgia, Nahunta, Georgia, Quincy, Florida.
Yeah.
Pasco County. Grady Judd wouldn't even have put him in Polk County, wouldn't even have put the kid on trial. He'd had some sort of proclamation that he'd have read at the sheriff's department, made the kid a hero, and offered him a job when he turned 18 as a Polk County sheriff.
Yeah, what's the problem? And that's what he said. He goes, what are we talking about here? And he would have done it. He would have done a 4.5-hour press conference.
Oh, of course Grady would.
All the video.
100%. 100%.
And he's like, this is what I want. And he would have said, this is why all of my citizens need to be fully armed.
Is Grady Judd
is
Grady Judd the biggest celebrity sheriff in the state of Florida?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Although Mike Chitwood's trying. Chitwood's trying over in Volusia County.
Trying. But he's got nothing on Grady. Grady's press conferences, we were talking about must-see TV.
Oh, they are.
He's got his own YouTube channel.
So's Billy, by the way. Billy Woods has his own YouTube channel, by the way.
Oh, yeah, nobody watches it.
But everybody watches Grady's.
I got him on alert.
Oh. When Grady said, you come to Polk County, I've told my citizens to shoot you if you try to loot and to riot here. I've told my entire county, shoot you if you come here.
Well, my favorite press conference that's on YouTube is, I guess, one of his deputies did something. I can't remember what he did, but he broke the law. And he went off for 45 minutes about how bad this guy was, and there was not even a trial yet. He was just arrested. And I'm like, that dude's going to have to move to a completely different world. So, yeah. I forgot what he did. He embezzled or something like that.
So, you okay that yesterday a girl posted on YouTube yesterday from California, premium gas in California, $7.99 a gallon.
I saw that.
$7.99 a gallon.
The pricing is it's quite crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
They're doing it to try to force you to go to alternative fuel vehicles.
That's correct.
There's no other way. That doesn't even need discussion. Correct. That's what's happening.
Right.
Doesn't even need discussion. Right. That's what's happening. Let's talk for a minute. We got about 10 minutes left in this segment. Let's talk for a minute about the pink elephant in the room. It's the watch of Dan Mullen. They play Missouri this weekend at Missouri. I saw a post yesterday that I thought was one of the smartest posts I'd seen, and it came from Bianchi, so that's saying a lot. That's saying a whole lot, actually. But Bianchi said Mullen's not the problem, and I agree with him. He said Florida can score. Yeah, they can't decide on the quarterback and all, but they can still score for the most part. They can't stop anybody. And he said Steve Spurrier couldn't stop anybody either, but because he revolutionized the SEC and brought passing into a 3 yards in a cloud of dust league, he was able to outscore people because when you threw up 50 in the SEC 30 years ago, the other team was throwing up 18 or 20, and that was with their offense clicking. Even if you didn't stop them, you were able to beat them. But he wasn't able to win a national championship until he got a defensive coordinator that could actually play defense against other pro-style offenses that played around the country. Somebody said, then a person answered Bianchi's little thing by saying, so what we need at Florida is the 85 Bears. Ditka and Buddy Ryan hated each other. They both thought they were the head coach. Ditka never bothered with the defense. Buddy Ryan never bothered with the offense, and it was effective. Dan Mullen needs to go find a defensive coordinator that is basically the head coach of the defense. Dan Mullen doesn't mess with him. He doesn't mess with Dan Mullen. They both recruit what they need to recruit and play it that way, and that Florida then would be a very good football team. And they mentioned names like Charlie Strong, Will Muschamp, and Ed Orgeron. I think that's actually a pretty good synopsis of what would work at Florida.
Well, look at when they won a title, whether it was Bobby Stoops. Remember Bobby Stoops?
Yep. Or Charlie Strong with Urban Meyer.
Sure. I don't know how many times Bobby Stoops said, "Look, I'm just in charge of the defense," and Steve Spurrier would say, "Yeah, I'm just in charge of the offense."
Spurrier never bothered Bobby Stoops. Never.
No, run whatever you want to run. Right, and so I think there is something for what you're saying, and there are very few teams like in Alabama that can just rotate defensive coordinators.
Well, Nick Saban's a defense coordinator, even though he does.
That's absolutely right.
Even though he has a defense coordinator, it's like Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's a defensive coordinator in New England, even though they have a defense coordinator. Bill Belichick still does that job.
That's absolutely correct. And again, I think the Gators lose this weekend.
They're an 8.5-point favorite, by the way. 8.5-point favorite over Missouri.
And then let's see if Florida State becomes the state champions. By the way, I think my son is going to get into Florida now. He retook the SAT, got a 1470.
Wow, that's the same score I got. That's a smart kid.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah,
it's all in how you. By the way, the SAT is all in how you prepare to take the test.
Yeah, I think he's now going to get into the University of Florida, and then what am I going to do? Now it's my wife graduated from Florida 3 times, and my son may now go to Florida. I don't know what I'm.
You're going to be in trouble, pal. You are going to.
Well, I'll root for their basketball team and their baseball team.
You'll only be able to talk. You'll only be able to talk Boston Red Sox baseball. Is all you'll be able to talk in the house. That's it.
No, we talk about everything in my house. We don't care about that stuff.
Hey, high school football tonight. Trinity Catholic had a bye last week. They play tonight, as does Vanguard. Do you see either school losing tonight?
Vanguard doesn't lose. Vanguard scores 14 points. I don't think anybody's going to beat them.
They scored 10 points. I think they're unbeatable.
I think you're probably right. They have a great field goal kicker. Kicked a 47-yarder or something like that the other day. I think they have a real chance of winning the state. Dunbar lost.
Because the Star Banner says, by the way, the Star Banner, the headline in the Star Banner is, Trinity Catholic Vanguard have their hands full this weekend.
What's the Star Banner? Nobody really reads it.
I mean, PK's 8-3, but I still think Trinity at 6-2 is a better football team.
Yeah, and the game's at home, right?
Right.
So I mean, I think Trinity's got everything in front of them. I think Trinity wins this football game. They're really starting to click. Offensively, if they can score 20 points, that defense will hold it.
Vanguard tonight, for the second week in a row, will face a running back who is pretty good. Pretty good. His name is Marquise Seaborn. Yep. He's had 147 carries, 1,896 yards, and 25 touchdowns. However, last week they faced a 2,000-yard rusher, and he only had 72 yards on 22 carries.
Well, you know, when you look at that defensive front that Vanguard has with Jalen Williams.
Could it be the best in the state?
Tyreek. I haven't seen every team in the state, but their defensive end with Carpenter and Riley that comes off of the bench, they rotate guys. McBride's in the middle. Good luck. I mean, their linebackers fly. You're not throwing the ball in that secondary. There is no weakness on that Vanguard defense. They have a cornerback that they don't even bother throwing at. So, you know, you've got Hopkins who makes plays, and every single one of them, if they get the ball in their hands, they can score. So I don't know. I haven't seen much film on this guy. Somebody at I was talking to Chewy. He said the guy's legit. But I haven't seen.
Yeah, but L.J. Turner is legit. L.J. Turner was legit too. 72 yards on 22 carries.
I just don't know how you run the football at this game. You just don't. And here's the thing: they don't blitz, right? They run a base 4-3.
I know. That's all they do. Run a base 4-3.
Sometimes they bring the safety in
on man coverage. Man coverage
and destroy you and just eat you up. Good luck. And again. Gilchrist has played the second half of almost every game, the last 6 games, I think. So I think they're putting him in motion. And if they get behind, he could sling the football. That guy is a legit quarterback.
My only concern with Vanguard is the same concern I have every year. And I think he's a great coach. I love the guy. I call him a friend. But I think the farther Vanguard gets along, the farther coaching becomes an issue. And I think, you know, Edwin needs to pick up his game.
Yeah, there's a couple of key differences for this year's team compared to last year. The teams in the past. One, they're incredibly disciplined. Two, they're a good group of guys.
And discipline has been an issue, and this year it doesn't seem to be.
That's correct. They don't have a lot of those problems. So let's see what happens. But again, tonight, Vanguard. If you pay, make sure you give all the money you can to the basketball team.
Hey, and we will not be able to broadcast these games on WOCA because George Tommen wants us to give away, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars plus our first newborn. He wants 3 private jets from the airport and for Galen Unall to kiss his feet. That's what George Tommen wants, and we're not doing that.
He may have been banned from all FHSAA sanctioned events.
Hey, Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, Bloodmobile today, we're actually right back at the Walmart in the Shores, so come by and see us there. We're going to be all over the place this weekend. We're still in emergency need of all blood types, so get out there, give the gift of life, and donate blood.
Galen, talk to you Monday.
All right, bye, all.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
It's fiscally responsible and it's paid for. These plans are fiscally responsible. They are fully paid for. They don't add a single penny to the deficit.
According to the Congressional Budget Office Thursday, that is misinformation by President Biden. In fact, the social spending bill, or Build Back Better, will add hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit. The House tried to push the bill through Congress in the middle of the night, early Friday morning, but Representative from California, Republican Kevin McCarthy, kept talking until Congress adjourned for the night.
This bill spends billions of dollars to hire 87,000 IRS agents.
The news outlet MSNBC has been banned for the remainder of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. A news producer from MSNBC followed the jury van last night to either photograph jurors or intimidate them. MSNBC denies any wrongdoing. USA Radio News.
COVID is spiking again, and it's just not clear how to keep your family safe. Fever is the leading symptom of COVID, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be